Hello, hello, Daniel here. Welcome to the weekly Q&A session with Autobound. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO. Thank you all for tuning in now, or those who are uh, watching the version recorded. Happy you're here. Great to have you on board. The next 30 minutes is going to be spent answering questions. We've assembled a handful of questions that have been asked offline. We'll take some live as well. I will also kick off the session with just a quick demo of the product and a few best practices, pointing out some areas that a lot of the questions are about, with the hope that we can get more of those answered quickly. So without further ado, I'll get my screen share going, and I'm just going to walk through a few best practices in Autobound, and then we'll dig into some questions around generating bulk content, like signing up, changing email addresses, associating your LinkedIn profile with the product, and anything else that might be top of mind. So let's get started. Anthony, Jason, great to see you guys. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Oh, of course. All right, is my screen showing up okay? Should be the LinkedIn profile of Steve Waters.
Yep.
Sounds good. Wonderful. So when you first sign up for Autobound, I guess I can even take a step back. Anyone can sign up going from our website to log in or get started free. When you sign up, we put you through an onboarding flow where, based off of your email address, we'll aim to figure out who you are on LinkedIn. You're not actually going to authenticate your LinkedIn, but you'll confirm if we have like the URL correct of your LinkedIn profile. What that enables us to do is just figure out what company you work for. And once you click confirm, continue with onboarding, we'll go and scan your company's website and look for other information on search engines on your business to build out your account. So we'll build out your like elevator pitch, your different buyer personas, your products. All that happens within like the first 3 to 5 minutes of onboarding. When you have completed the onboarding flow, this is the screen all new users see. My button right here for try our email assistant says try on LinkedIn. If you don't yet have the extension downloaded, it'll say like go download the Chrome extension, which puts you to the Chrome web store. Getting the extensions really simple. Let's see. So yeah, here's the experience of like with the Autobound Chrome extension, kind of how the system works. So when you open up Autobound, and this is whether or not you're on LinkedIn, the system works on Gmail, Outreach, SalesLoft. There's two things that Autobound does really well. The first is finds insights that are relevant for personalization on that individual. So here's like recent LinkedIn posts, an acquisition. We're matching this prospect to one of our buyer personas to soon position the best value prop. This one's interesting. We even have like information on one of ZoomInfo's competitors launching a new product. So the first thing we do well is find interesting insights on that person. And the second thing we do very well is write good content to them. So the customize your content step, you'll choose our AI will do its best to automatically figure out like which of your value props is best fit for this prospect. So but you can change that if you'd like. So we'll suggest the value prop, the right product to base your messaging off of. It's not necessarily going to like pitch the features. It'll more so speak to the pain points that you aim to uncover. You can associate a writing style and ultimately a type of content. So most of our users leverage email the most, but you can also write like a call script or a LinkedIn connection request or a text. Before I skip all the way past this, know something we don't lets you put in additional information like we met for coffee or I just left this prospect a voicemail. So any info you type into here will be included in the output once we write content. So content takes just a couple of seconds to write, and we'll generate a handful of options. And I'll speak through kind of what to do with the content after it's been written. So here's the three different options that Autobound's put together for us. The light bulb at the top right lets us see what's driving the content, like the insights themselves. And you'll notice that often like the insights for those three options is actually different. The reason we do that is to give you more optionality. Like there's a lot of interesting things we know about this prospect. Our algorithm does a lot of thinking when choosing which insights to use. And here we give you the power of saying like which combination of the insights do you like the most, with the option of like one click to make it shorter or longer, more casual, formal. So you'll see this rewritten in just a moment. So a quick like understanding of where the insights come from. Like ZoomInfo's Copilot was something that I think they mentioned. So Steve's talking about this on a recent post that he made. And just because I'm showing the demo like usability on LinkedIn, of course, you don't have to be on LinkedIn to be viewing like our extraction of recent posts. The same flow will happen if you're in Gmail or HubSpot, other products. Another cool thing we've recently rolled out is the ability of typing in custom instructions to rewrite the message. So we could say like focus more on the quote from his About Me, which is anything worth doing well is, or anything worth doing is worth doing well. So this came from right here. So now the message like starts out right with that. So the custom instructions, like this chat functionality, gives you a lot of maneuverability when it's like honing in on exactly how you'd like that message to be rewritten. You could also say like, write a follow-up message if no response to first. Typos shouldn't matter. So if you're using a sequencing tool, like you can copy paste that second message right into it. It'll should be like well connected to the first. So that's a quick demo on the usability of the extension. One of our Aura, if you're watching this now or later, asked how to tweak the writing style a bit more specifically to her style or her approach. So the writing style here says Daniel's writing style. Like I built this one in myself. Let's actually click in and see how that was put together. This is like arguably one of the most powerful parts of the product. A lot of users don't become experts in this for their first like 2 weeks on the system, but here you have the ability of like literally writing a prompt for how you'd like Autobound to write your messages for you. So what I do here is I start off with like just a couple adjectives, simple instructions. I'm clear, straightforward. I use abbreviations. The content I write is super clear, easy to read. I try to have the first sentence be something eye-popping that shows how that message is uniquely written to them. One of my favorite hacks to do is to say, for inspiration, match the tone and style of the email below, which I wrote to somebody else. So here's just like a good email that I took out of one of our templates or maybe even my outbox and pasted right in here, which just sounds like me. And you can even put a couple in here like that. But now when I am like my writing style will write emails that sound just like me. So here you have a lot of flexibility with creating your own writing styles to sound just like you. You could even say like, one question we get asked a lot is like modifications for the call to action. Like maybe you're going to ask for a meeting or ask if they're interested in learning more information. You could prompt the writing style to say like do not add or do not say let's chat in call to action. Instead, ask if they're interested in learning more or propose specific times for a call. I'd say even the next time we write content, it should reflect that new instruction. Within the writing styles UI, you'll see like a lot of kind of out of the box styles we've created. What users typically like the most is the CXO pitch. This one's just like short, punchy, sweet. The prompt itself is like you've got 15 seconds to sell to an exec. You have to be super concise in doing so. So you should see these emails much shorter. You can also make your writing style shorter by toggling this word count slider. I actually like mine a little bit longer. I feel like it gives the insights when there's a lot of them, like more room to breathe in the message, which can be powerful. Whereas if you kind of make it much shorter, even if there are like 5 or 6 interesting insights, sometimes the system won't include them all just because it doesn't have the capacity of doing so. So here's the CXO pitch, obviously shorter. I can click generate more to have a whole new batch created for me here as well. But that is like kind of 101 Chrome extension usage. If you are on, for those users on like Outreach or SalesLoft, you'll have similar functionality in HubSpot, Salesforce. You'll notice our extension mounts wherever we can identify an email address or a LinkedIn profile. And what that enables you to do is click that button to load that prospect really quickly and to have their insights surfaced for you. We know this can get annoying if it's showing up on places you don't want it to. So if that's the case, if you click your Autobound extension at the top of your Google toolbar, you can choose where it's enabled and disabled for. You'll have to refresh the page, but if I toggle this off, I'll no longer see the extension showing up on like not just this one page, but for this domain as a whole. It won't show there anymore. So that happens on like LinkedIn. If it's showing too often, you can turn it off. Hope that's useful. Something else users like us the most for, which might not be super obvious as you're first using the system, is we give you the option of, let's just copy this first. It should work here. There's a functionality called AI Enrich. So if you have text highlighted anywhere, I think it has to be at least like 2 words or more. So like here, like, have you given this thought, able to chat next week? When you highlight text and you see AI Enrich pull up, we'll give you the option of personalizing that content further with Autobound insights. And this works inside of every system, as long as you have Autobound toggled on for that system. But if we click AI Enrich, what the system does, it's a similar flow. Like we're going to go figure out who you're aiming to enrich content for. We're going to find insights on that individual. You're going to still have the option of choosing which insights you'd like to power the enrich. When you click enrich content, we'll give you a couple options that are like rewritten versions of those sentences, or it could even be a full email template with the text enriched. This scenario is a bit unique. Like I wouldn't suggest doing this too often with just a couple sentences, but this works best with like a full email. So if you're in Gmail and you have a template that you like to use often, but you're aiming to thread more personalization into it, this can be a great way of like really quickly keeping the same talking point, but writing personalized messaging that is personalized as opposed to a template. Let's see, a couple housekeeping things that we've been getting a lot of questions on. I know it's frustrating, but if you are well, when you're signed up, you don't yet have the option of changing your email from the system. This had to do with when you first sign up with us, you'll notice like we link, or we do a lot of learning on you and your company by like crawling your website, looking them up online. We had to make a couple sacrifices in development just to delay the ability of you changing your email after you've signed up. So it's a pain in the ass, I'm aware, but soon you'll have the option of doing so. Until then, if you have any issues with your email address in the system, just ping myself or Kyle or just support@autobound.ai and we'll work with you to figure those out. For all users that have signed up through AppSumo, you don't yet have the option of inviting other users from your organization. For all those that might have just come in through our website, or any other means within users under admin settings, you can just click add a new user. Assuming you have enough seats allocated under billing, you can type in as many emails as you like here. You can invite them as a member, admin, or manager. Members don't have the ability of editing things in your content hub, whereas managers and admins do. So a quick Q&A on the content hub. When you first signed up, all the learning we did off of your website to build your content hub with AI, this is where it gets dumped into. So sales assets, think of these as like the products you sell. If you're wanting to incorporate like a white paper into your messaging or talk about an event, we have templates for these. You'll have the option of choosing from one of these sales assets if you like when writing content. Again, we'll pick those that we think make the most sense, but you can change in this UI and even add up to 2 at once. Yeah, that is the skinny on the content hub. Even if you have already gone through this flow of like scanning your website and building the content hub with AI, it's a good idea to keep doing this over time. The cool thing here is like, if you're doing consistent work to your website and launching new blogs or products and features or case studies on your site, when you refresh your content hub with AI, like we will go pick up on many of those things to help you keep the content in your account more up to date. So this is a good practice to go through every now and then, maybe like every month or 2 months, just to have us go refresh your default value prop or your elevator pitch to ensure we're talking about your offerings in the right way, so on and so forth. For the smaller startups out there that might not have like a SEO recognized large web presence quite yet, sometimes this is not always that accurate. That does not mean you can't get a lot of value from Autobound. It just means you unfortunately have to spend a few more seconds like tweaking this content before saving it into your account. So as long as the messaging in here looks good, even if it doesn't look good initially, if you make tweaks to it, you'll ultimately have high quality messaging suggested later on. If this messaging does not look good and it's not pitching you at all the way it should be, or maybe we found like a company that's totally inaccurate when you first started signing up, if you ignore that problem here and you go through the content hub and you create a bad, like a totally inaccurate default value prop, the offerings don't make any sense, the buyer personas, like you don't sell to them, you're not going to have a good experience on Autobound. So this is worth getting right. Yeah. So go through this every now and then. If you get through it and want to exit like I do right now, you can click exit flow. And again, you can always come back and do this later. So we're going to skip for now. If you don't want to go through the entire like flow of refreshing your content hub, like any of these can be edited individually, just like through the UI. The neat thing about this too is you can preview example emails. So based off of this content, it's the exact same thing we built in the content hub. You can like try this on a few different people. So here's like a message from me to me selling Autobound. It picked up on mutual experiences because I am myself, of course. Yeah, content hub 101. Got a couple of questions on bulk content as well. So let's just go through a quick how-to. There's 2 types of bulk content that you can generate. There's openers and we have a smart template personalizer. If it's your very first time doing this, like maybe try just generating a couple openers. It's definitely a simpler flow. An opener is like an icebreaker that you might stamp on the top of an email, like one or 2 sentences. Like, hey, congrats on the funding, or saw XYZ and you're about me on LinkedIn, you know, something light and personalized. The smart template personalizer enables you to go a lot deeper. And how we do that is, so first we're going to, why don't I just use this CSV? It says map email or LinkedIn, but I would definitely suggest mapping both. Our hit rate will be better if you do so. So smart template enrichment lets you type out a message that you'd like Autobound to rewrite, but only more personalized. So let me just get an example pulled up. As I'm pulling this up, if anybody on the call has questions that you'd like to drop into chat for me to cover before we wrap, now's a good time to do so. Any questions at all? Cool. Okay, so here I've got a template put in. Um, you're able to leverage a couple custom fields that Autobound has, like prospect name, prospect company name, user company name. Um, for now, I'm just going to do best Daniel. Generate preview shows an example email of what that message should look like when enriched. I will note there's some limitations to this preview flow compared to those you see in the Content Hub. The reason for that is just something we need to update on our end. Like you'll see better content that's enriched than you see right here. So we'll click continue. Um, Here we'll confirm how many credits are going to be consumed by your generation of that content. This will take a couple minutes, depending on how many contacts you've uploaded and how many other users have pending requests as well. But once you're done, you can download those CSVs. And then from there, there's a handful of things you can do with them. What I've seen is most effective is you might end up with a CSV of like 1,000 prospects and 1,000 personalized enriched emails in another column. Um, Go and upload those into HubSpot or Instantly or other systems and put the customized content as a custom field on the prospect or the contact level. And then when you're sending out a sequence through HubSpot or Instantly or another system, just put the custom field as like the entirety of that email step. Because we've already stamped the prospect's custom field value with the content when you uploaded that prospect into that system. I'm happy to show a quick walkthrough of that if you'd like. Kyle's also recorded like a step-by-step guide on how to do that. And we even have a bit of like extra support info depending on a few systems that you might be wanting to do that with. So info on bulk content and the content hub. List builder is pretty straightforward. Build contact lists based off of somewhat simple parameters. We've gotten a few requests for an update to accuracy or cleansing of this data. So we do so quite regularly, but we're going to be prioritizing another one very soon. This kind of info goes stale often with all companies. So we're on top of it. Sorry for anybody that's been having issues with that. It's definitely better for some niches like technology and B2B is our best versus others. But we're always all ears for feedback. So let us know if you got any questions on List Builder. All right. Couple of questions here. Can we have Autobound perform a follow-up on a previously existing email? I'll show you how I would recommend doing so right now. Short answer is the system's not like specifically built for that, but there's a way you can do so that's been pretty effective. Let me find a good example. Here's one. So a company that's looking to do business with us, in this scenario, for confidentiality, I'll try to kind of mask most of that if I can. So give me a second as I paste this in there. In short, the way you can do so is by injecting past conversation data as additional information within the Chrome extension. So it would look kind of like this. Additional information or instructions. I'm just going to copy literally this entire thread. Here's the convo so far. Write a message that's ultra compelling with the past convo in mind. These hashes kind of help the AI better understand. And we've got a character limit, so we can't include all of it, but the hatches will like help the system better understand the breakpoint for the request versus the data you're passing in. So the information that's then rewritten should be in nature a bit more in tune with like a follow-up message or like incorporating the context of like recent dialogue. So that's one way of doing so. Another is you are able to have a custom output here. So this is like more of an instruction. You could say like write a follow-up email, like any prompt that you'd like. Write a call script, give me 20 interesting things, and it'll also include the additional context, but you'll have a bit more control over the type of output that's created. Time for one more question. Elaborate more on how to get more out of the tool with the content hub and insights. So here's like a more comprehensive follow-up to that message I put in. And within additional context, you can also, or within custom, you can also say like 50 words max. That'll help keep it shorter. Yeah, elaborating on how to get the best out of the tool with the content hub and insights and default value props. I think I covered a good deal of that, but yeah, long and short of it is like go through the refresh my content hub again and just ensure that the content that we're writing looks pretty dang good, or it's at least quite close to how you'd message and position your value proposition. If it is out of like if the style itself sounds tacky or AI written, as long as it's factually accurate, your personas and your sales assets are probably okay. If the style is not as you'd like, if the questions seem tacky, that it sounds robotic, spend time with writing style. Like that is one of the best places to go to improve the overall like tone and feel of the message. You can do so much with nothing else but writing style. So like play around with creating your own. I definitely recommend that. Last thing I skipped through before, insight control, I think is one of my favorite parts of the whole system. A lot of these by default will be off. Insight control lets you toggle off or on the insights that impact the content that we write through bulk content or through the AI Chrome extension. So you'll notice like if a company is exhibiting negative quarterly revenue growth that I'm reaching out to, we will find that insight from scanning their financials and incorporate messaging based off of that. So you have the option of like toggling things that you'd like or you would not like to have impact the content. Something that we turned off because it shows just super often and some users didn't like it. Prospects case studies will surface like recent case studies that we have on that company. So here's like a case study ZoomInfo did for a specific business. So inside of the messaging, this will incorporate, cool to see you do business with XYZ company. Noticed how you helped them do specific metric, like we could help you land more clients just like that. There's some pretty interesting insights that we've toggled off on all users' accounts. So play around with like adding new ones here or toggling on new ones. And if you find that you're reaching out to your prospect and the insights that you see on insight selection are just like, oh, I don't really care about acquisitions, or I don't care about like recognition. Go to insight control and just turn those off, and you won't see them anymore. You can also create your own insights. They're limited to technographic type. So you could say like, here's one of our competitors, you could say is like AWS maybe, and it's Amazon Web Services.com. When you click draft with AI, we will generate like competitive differentiating messaging as far as our AI thinks, at least. That's or a competitive differentiated pitch that when a company is using that technology, will incorporate that pitch into your messaging. So I would definitely recommend playing around a bit with creating new competitors. You can also create complementary technologies. Yeah, so that is probably all we have time for today. Hope this has been useful for all those that hopped on and all those that are watching offline. Again, I'm Daniel, one of the co-founders here and the CEO. It's really great to have you all on board. Any questions from today or follow-up items, you can reach out to me at daniel@autobound.ai or support@autobound.ai, and that'll actually create a ticket, which makes it super easy for us to follow up with you all. So that's my slight preference, but yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Here to help as you all need. Take care.
Thank you.